All right, so we did the best JoJo, the best Joe Bro, right? Best villain in the series. I mean, I have my top
I
three, but I'll probably pick one at some point.
Damn, it's tough for me. Ultimately, for me, I think I would still. This is probably like a basic answer, but I would still have to go with like Dio, and not even like
Yeah,
yeah, just as a character in general, because like I just love how much, or at least pre part 6, and even like a bit of part 7 too, how much his reach like extends to like the other
yes,
parts. Like he has like so like each part has like some has he's touching it somehow,
yes. Especially
whether he's alive or not.
part 1 through 6 specifically. It's both the saga of the Joestar, it's both the saga of Dio, right?
Yes,
Where
yeah.
Dio is this ultimate evil that is affecting everything up until the point where I think the ultimate resolution of part 6 is creating like this new universe without Dio,
And
right?
even still, he's
Even
still
still,
there. He's
even still, you can't get rid of him. Um,
like,
and
bruh.
I mean, Dio is good. And one thing, it's he gets better over time. I think Araki does a good job of adding more characterization to him over time. You get a little bit more hints, especially in part 6, when you really get to see Dio at his most chill
Humanish. Yeah.
and vulnerable. Um and his other insights that aren't just like cackling uh while posing.
Bruh.
Even like if you go to part 1,
Bro, part 1, he's so like
he's
he's so despicable, and his
yes.
line, and his lines are so cold, bro. Like I'll always like think of the line where Jonathan's like, "Oh, how many people have you killed?" And he just responds, "How many pieces of bread have you eaten?"
Yeah.
Like that is like nuts, bro.
Yeah.
That is
And
cold.
I would say about Dio's character, which makes him so interesting, is no matter how I think no matter how powerful he gets, no matter how much he might change or transform or whatever his plans are, he is still fundamentally, right, that same boy, right, the same little boy that is angry about his father, right, and what happened to his mother. That's who he is. We got a fundamental level, and then that carries through. Um, he's always trying to like achieve more and more and more, and to escape, that kind of orbit. Especially when he gets in part 3 and he drops the Brando entirely, as a rejection of that.
Yes.
Um, but you can see those shades in him as he's like kind of like almost trapped in that cycle, because he even though he's been given like this perfect like um way out of it through the Joestars, he still holds on to that pain experienced from his dad. um and what I like about Dio is, even though he has all this aura and even though he has all this thing, right, when it comes down to it, he is um still like a little like that little brat at his core, right? And because I always think about it is that bit when he's fighting Jotaro and Jotaro smashes part of his head in, and right, what does he do? He immediately starts like scrambling around, like in the sewer. Like he goes from like, yes, I am Dio, to like running around in the sewer, be like, oh my, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out of here, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta make it. Um, and yeah, that's who he is, right? That's always who he is, like fun. Um, and I think it adds depth to his character, and also the fact that he wants more, even than just regular conquest, as we can see in part 6. It also colors Diego in part 7, who's not a main villain, but he's like a side villain, because Diego is like Dio, but like 10% better.
He's I guess nicer
Yeah,
version
he
of
he
Dio.
he just got a little bit more motherly love,
Yeah, that
just
was
just
a real change.
just a little bit, just a little bit. And instead of And I guess instead of a dad, he had no dad and a little bit more motherly love. And that makes him just like, 10% better. He's still a bad guy, but he's not as bad of a guy.
Yeah.
Um, in the
I don't
long run.
remember what leads to the word.
Well, that's the final contingency plan from because Valentine knows he's cooked. Uh, he's cooked. He's like rotating infinitely, and he's like, all right. And so he pulls a Diego from another universe. And he was like, here's the assignment. This is your chance. You can get all this power and money if you follow these instructions.
But yeah, no, I really mess with Dio a lot. His influence on the series as a whole is just can't can't be understated. And that final battle with Jotaro, uh,
It's good. It's really good.
yeah, it's really good. They're going back and forth with each other to the point where he's so confident until Jotaro stops time, and then he's just like, ah, voila, I might be cooked.
And that's what I love about Dio because that's his core character. He's always like this. He always has a posture of like I'm so confident, I'm so powerful, up until like the fist hits his face, and then
Yes,
immediately
yes.
he reverts to his rat like tendencies. And like
He's like,
you can carry that
it's not
all the
fair.
way. The very first time he did that, right? He's the same guy, he's the same character. The very first time he does that is when he's mentally torturing Jonathan in
Yes.
part one, and he's doing all this stuff to Jonathan up to the point of like forcing himself, like forcing his kiss on Arena, right? And he's like, yes, blah, 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 all the way up until Jonathan punches him in the face, and Theo's like,
Yeah,
oh
they
wait,
get
wait a
caught.
minute, wait, hold on. He has a wait, no. Like as he realizes, like, oh, actually, Jonathan is bigger and stronger than me, and he can just beat me up. He can literally just beat me up now. I have like miscalculated, and that
Don't
is like
even.
his perpetual state of being. All the way up to part
Yeah.
3 where he's like, I have this ultimate power. But the second, it's like, oh, actually, uh-oh.
He's
Ruh-roh,
like,
this other guy.
no,
It's
it's
like,
not fair.
because the second there's even a hint that Jotaro can move, he immediately like jumps back. He's like, wait a second,
Wait, hold on, hold on.
wait, I do some investigating here.
Bruh, everything
Uh, I would say, yeah, Dio is great. My pick would probably either be what, Kira or Clenny Valentine. I've
Okay.
talked about Kira before. Um, he's great because like he is like this very despicable man, right? He's a serial killer. He kills women, takes their hands, and he's this very like unsettling, kind of figure. But he is at the same time, being like, well, actual, he has this mantra about he just wants a quiet life, right? He just wants to be undisturbed. He has the same routine. He has to follow it. He has all these things, right? But there's no care for other people, right? There's no care for other people's experiences or wants or desires. It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, I mean, I kill people.
yeah.
I'm
That's
go-
my
I'm
thing. It's my hobby.
I'm going to keep killing people, but like, can you guys chill? I wanted to just kill
Can a man
people,
have hobbies?
but you guys are like, are in my way, and you guys keep getting offended. And I don't know why, you're upset.
Ju- Just let me do my thing.
And having his backstory, right? And having his grand motivation not be like some like master plan, but just being like, oh no, killing people gets me off.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. It's just like, yeah, okay, you know. Um, and he really works. He really works as a villain, and because he is vulnerable, he's always vulnerable, right? He always has to kind of play around this thing because he knows if he gets into a direct confrontation with two stand users, he could be cooked, right? He might be able to beat one stand user, right, in an ambush, but he knows for a fact, okay, if I get into a straight fight with like Josuke or God forbid Jotaro, I'm cooked. So he
Yeah.
does everything he can to avoid that. And the one time, the one time, he's feeling himself a little too much, and he steps up to Jotaro. Jotaro checks him and shows him, no, no, actually, no, no, no. Even with like a bunch of holes in my body, I'm still that guy.
Right. You
Uh,
must not know.
Sorry. Um, so he and like, but and it's that desperation that makes him so compelling. So when like he's like, oh, I know their options, so I'm gonna cut off my own hand. It feels so real and raw, and you know, um, especially with his dad. He was enabling him and
Yeah.
helping out and assisting him. I would say the part where his dad has a stand arrow and makes a bunch of stand users to fight is kind of it's a little weak. And it's a little contrived. Uh,
Dude, what was his purpose of doing that again? Like, what, just to, like,
to slow down,
distract?
distract, they slow
Yeah.
down and distract. Now, I'm okay with it because those stand fights were raw, but
Yeah.
but the plot was kind of contrived to get there. But like himself, and even in the final fight when he gets his ultimate ability, the ability to like reset the day and do a kind of like Groundhog's Day scenario, and the
And
fact that
having
he's
high intake.
yeah, and he's defeated by his own hubris, and like he's defeated partially, in fact, by a non-stand user, right? This weird little
The
kid
boy.
who's able to kind of see through him and outthink him and outsmart him, and still one step ahead. Is pretty good, right? And and all his villainy, all everything he does makes his comeuppance so good, right? I think he is one of the best defeats in the series when it is the opposite of what he wants. He's surrounded by this huge crowd, right? He's surrounded by this huge crowd and he's getting beaten down. And
Yeah.
he tries to reset. In the moment when he thinks he resets, but he's actually just dead, it's great. Um, he tries to reset and then like Jotaro stops time and destroys his entire arm. It's fantastic. And you know, and he's just killed by happenstance. Like
Yeah,
he's
the
run over by
ambulance.
an ambulance. After all everything he did, and he's both unknown. Like no one knows, who he was. But at the same time, he's like done in so publicly. Um, and yeah, Kira's great. And right up with Kira, I would also want to shout out very quickly is Funny Valentine, who is fantastic. As a villain because he has very compelling reasoning, right? I will not go what some people say. Oh, Funny Valentine was right, or Funny Valentine did nothing wrong. He's out of his mind. Um, but
Yeah, speak of peace.
but I will say this: all Funny Valentine really did at the end of the day, is what every single American president has done since like the 1900s, right? Oh, that's really all he did was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his fundamental plan of like, oh, I want to push misery on the rest of the world at the I want to make America great at the expense of the rest of the world, and that's kind of like the American
Yeah.
foreign policy for the past couple hundred years. Um,
Like,
so in that respect, Funny Valentine is kind of like how bad is he really in comparison to your average American president? How bad is Funny Valentine truly? Um, but he wants to, and his big thing of like, well, I just want to make, and he's so devoted to America and his country. I think that's what makes him compelling, and also, he is like a lot of JoJo villains. He is very campy and fruity, and just does different things. I think just to for no good reason. Like when he just like I think either kills or like teleports that random guy to another dimension by slamming in the door.
Yeah.
For no real
Yeah,
for no
what
real
was
purpose, but he just slams in the door and he's like, "Doja," you know.
that?
I mean, like, all that stuff's great.
Yeah, yeah.
His design goes super hard. The American flag scarred, carved in his back goes so hard.
Yeah, yeah. It
Um,
and also the stand is really good,
yeah,
and it look if
D4C.
you yeah. I'm sorry, don't you mean,
Only filthy
Filthy
acts,
Acts
a
for a
reasonable
reasonable
price.
price?
Yeah.
But yeah, even the design of it, I think it's my favorite one from a villain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
D4C is fantastic.
Mhm.
Araki did a multiverse story before multiverse stories were really popping
Pop it off,
and
yeah.
did very well. Uh, but yeah, Finding Valentine's fantastic, and he is a overarching threat. Who I think probably has the best excuse for sending goons first. Uh, Instead of just jumping in himself.
Yeah.
Uh, Considering he's the president.
Yeah, you can't just
Yeah.
president can't just leave the White House,
Which
or
does pose a
wherever.
question. I think is like I assume the History Channel documentaries and the podcast probably go crazy in the JoJo Land's timeline because it's probably a History Channel documentary. Like, what happened? Remember when the president just died in the middle of the desert for like no
Yeah,
reason?
yeah.
Like like
Weird, weird.
yeah, you get a report where they found the president and he was like a shriveled old man, for some reason in the middle of the desert, and no one knows what happened. The train or whatever, not in the middle of the desert, but like like in a Californian desert, the president just died. He just got clipped, and you go back through, and you're like, wait a second, we're looking through the records, and it looks like the Steel Bar Run race was like run by the president, and all these assassins and whatnot, and you have these international figures. You're really piecing together, and of course
The conspiracy
it's
theorists gonna go crazy
yeah,
with
but
this.
it's the 1800s too, so I assume at some point it won't even be like a real like conspiracy theory. It'll just be a fact, like in the record of like, oh yeah, funny Valentine. Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah, the 23rd president, did all this stuff and then just died in the desert. Like they won't know the stand part, but they know like
Mhm.
all the other like details of like yeah, they were there hunting for something in the desert, and then you
And the
know
president eventually died.
yeah. There's probably a good YouTube video in the JoJo universe with like the race where like 600 participants died.
Yeah, they got history books on it.
Yeah, history books, right? Like, did you know there was a race across America where like 90% of the participants died in it? And everyone's wondering about Poco Loco. It's
Yeah.
like, how did Poco Loco win? Is Poco Loco the true mastermind?
And they took away all his winnings.